welcome back to Googie's Kitchen, and if you are new here then hello and welcome. My name's Alexis, and in today's video I want to share with you how to make my delicious baked cheese and Parma ham omelette. As I just mentioned, today I'm going to be making a baked cheese and Parma ham omelette. So to start this recipe, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to preheat my oven to 200 degrees. While the oven is preheating, I have put a large saucepan and I'm going to put this onto a high heat on my hob. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add oil to the base of the pan, and I'm going to leave the pan to heat up. The pan is getting nice and hot now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in some Parma ham. So I've got about 4 slices of Parma ham. In the original recipe, I think this recipe serves 4, so I think I've said to use 8 slices of Parma ham, but I'm just making this for my husband and son today, so I'm only using 4 slices of Parma ham. So I'm going to put those into the base of the pan like so, and I'm going to fry the Parma ham until it sort of goes slightly crispy and golden brown, and hopefully this will help to flavour the oil in the base of the pan as well, so that will give the vegetables a lot of flavour as well. So I'm just going to continue to fry the Parma ham. It only took a few more moments, but the Parma ham has started to go a lovely golden brown colour. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a leek to the base of the pan. In the original recipe I think I said to use spring onions. Unfortunately I don't have any spring onions, so I'm just going to use a leek, and I'm going to fry the leek until it starts to soften, and I'm still going to fry it with the Parma ham. The pan is getting slightly too warm, so I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit, and I'm going to add a little bit of water to the base of the pan to stop everything from sticking. And as I said, I'm going to fry the leek now until it starts to soften. The leek has started to soften, and it's started to become quite clear and see-through as well, so that's what you want. And now I'm going to add in a yellow pepper. So I have chopped the top from the yellow pepper, and I've removed the stalk and the core, and then I just simply sliced and diced the pepper. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put that into the base of my pan, and I'm going to try and fry this until it starts to soften. This is a baked omelette, so don't worry too much if it doesn't soften that much. It will soften in the oven once it goes in. But my husband and son aren't great vegetable fans, so I always like to try and soften the food quite a lot, so that they tend to eat it when it's a bit more soft, I've noticed. So yeah, I don't mind crunchy veg. I love crunchy veg in fact, but those two don't really like crunchy veg. So I always try to soften it as much as I can before I put it in the oven. So I'm just going to continue now to fry this yellow pepper. And while I'm frying the red pepper, I'm also going to add broccoli to this as well. So I've got probably about half a broccoli here, so 1 head of a broccoli. I'm not sure how much that weighs. You can add or take out the broccoli if you don't like it. My husband and son tend to don't mind it when it's in an omelette like this, so I like to add it to certain foods that they won't grumble about, to be honest. And again, I'm going to fry the broccoli until it really starts to soften. If you don't like it as soft, or if you don't mind it as crunchy, then you can have it. You can just fry it for less time, but I'm going to probably fry this now for about 5 to 10 minutes, and hopefully this will soften beautifully. And then all I've got left to do is add in some grated courgette, but I'll show you that in a moment. So again, I'm just going to continue to fry the broccoli with all of the other ingredients. I've been frying the broccoli for a good 5 minutes, so now what I'm going to do is I am going to add in some courgette. So I have peeled and grated half a courgette. Obviously I'm halving all of the ingredients for this meal because it's only for my husband and son. So yeah, so I've basically just peeled and grated half a courgette, and I'm just going to fry this until I heat the courgette through. The courgette is already quite soft, so it doesn't really need to be cooked for too long in the frying pan. So I just need to heat this through now, and then I shall go and deal with the egg. I'm going to set this aside and leave this to cool, and while this is cooling I shall go and crack some eggs into a bowl. So I'll show you that in a moment, but yes, as I said, I'm just going to set this aside now and leave it to cool. So I've grabbed myself a large mixing bowl. In the original recipe I think I said 4 large eggs, but our eggs are quite small. They're not actually large at the moment. I think they're more like medium ones. So I'm doing 3 eggs for this meal. I'm just going to add these to the mixing bowl like so. And then I'm going to add a little bit of cheese and some dried mixed herbs as well. So I'm just going to scramble the eggs like so, and then I'm going to add my cheese in. So I've got about 40 grams of cheddar cheese. You can use any type of cheese you like for this. Cheddar cheese seems to be a favourite in this house, so that's why we're using it. Again, in the original recipe it was 80 grams, but that recipe does serve 4 people. So I'm just going to add that to the base of the bowl, and then I'm going to add about a teaspoon of dried mixed herbs as well. I think in the original recipe I actually added them while I was cooking, but it doesn't really matter too much. If you want to add them in while you're cooking all of the vegetables and the Parma ham, then you can do. And I'm just going to add a little bit of pepper and a little bit of salt to this as well. Salt and pepper to your taste. If you like more than we do, then add it please. And if you don't like it at all, then don't add it. So, and then I'm going to add in the saucepan ingredients to the mix as well. So going to try and scrape the bowl. Waste not, want not, as my grandmother always used to say. So I have just simply added all of those ingredients to the bowl. And also, I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but in the original recipe I actually used potato in this, and I put the baking tray into the oven with the potato in when it had preheated, and I left it in there for about 15 minutes before I then added the egg and all the other ingredients. So if you want to add potato to this meal, please do. I'm not adding it today. I think this is quite sufficient for my husband and son, so I'm just going to leave it like this. But I'm going to go and get the baking tray, and I shall pop this in the oven in a moment. I have grabbed my baking tray. This is a Pampered Chef stoneware baking tray, so if you are wondering, I don't need to use any oil in the base of this pan. The omelette will come off this. What stoneware does is it tends to cook food more evenly. So basically you'll put this in and it will take all of the badness out of your food and just leave the goodness. That's the theory anyway. I think it does work. And food tastes really good when you've cooked it in stoneware as well. So I'm not going to add any oil to this, but if you do have a baking tray that you need to pre-line or add oil to, then please do that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the omelette to the base of the pan, like so. And I'm going to pop this into the oven for about 25 to 30 minutes, or until the top goes a lovely golden brown colour. As you can see, the omelette is done, so I'm going to take this out of the oven and I'm going to leave this to cool, and then I will serve it to my husband and son. It smells absolutely delicious. I'm sure they're really going to enjoy this. That's how you make my delicious baked cheese and Parma ham omelette, and that recipe I will link in the description box below for you. As I mentioned earlier, I'm going to be serving this to my husband and son this evening for their dinner, and I'm sure they're going to enjoy it. It smells so good, I just have to say that. So for now, that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to give me a big thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and please feel free to leave any comments below, and please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. See you all soon. Bye.